Hello. Oh my god. Oh, I'm opening up random things. Okay. Hello. 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 This is my project 2. This is probably my fourth time recording this. Trying to kink out how I could show it as best I can on OBS, playing with different capture settings. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I really don't want to get carried away. I feel like I've been on another attempt. I'll drag on and on about how everything is done. I think you guys want to just see, what is done, and that'd be way more interesting. So, but I also want to make it, interesting and show off my work. So I will try and condense this and be a little bit faster and not run off too long. First thing is first, I changed the lighting. Lighting completely got overhauled. Um, Nothing specific or technical, but more just tinkering around with settings. I changed the emission coming from the sun to a warmer temperature, which gives a red tint-ish to the entire map. As you can see on those clouds, I think that's best shown there, especially since it's directional light. Um, and that also helps cast shadows on other objects. There's white light being emitted from my checkpoints, which also have a custom script on them, and then some more lights for these lanterns, which I could quickly go into that. Basically, they're prefabs, but there is no actual light source. There's no way without going, I believe, into the logic part of this. Um, that it comes with. There's no way to decipher, the post from the lantern itself where the light should be originating from. So I just created a sphere, removed the collider, removed the renderer, and I made a light component which is red, and I placed that um, typically just under the source. That way it illuminates the area, which I really like. Um, Yep. So that's the those lanterns right there. As you can see, there's grass all over the place. That's actually my terrain. If I pull out, I could explain the terrain really quick. I think it's kind of cool and neat. Um, you should be able to see over here now the terrain component, which is basically, if I come over to paint details, you can see the grass prefab that I dragged over into the terrain. And what the terrain is it's basically this big mesh that, oh, I'm sorry, you can see like the blue little, where my cursor is, where I could like place more grass if it wasn't already there. Um, but let me just, let me come out of here. All right. Basically, yeah. The terrain is this big mesh, not related to the ground. It's separate. Um, the terrain is perfectly flat. Unfortunate for me, the ground that this level or this game came with is also perfectly flat. So to ensure that the two layers aren't like clashing on transform Y0, I set the terrain to y dot negative 0.1, which is just tiny, one fraction of a pixel below the ground. So the blankness of the terrain is in itself protruding, but the grass pops through, and that could be said for if I wanted to add trees, but I decided to make myself miserable and hand place all these trees and through copying pasting. So those are all contained under vegetation over here. And see all the trees, very 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 nice. Um, Let me play the game for the first time. Let's do that. There's so much to go through. I feel like at least for the effects that were added. So this is the terrain scanner right up here, which is a custom VFX effect that I'm not gonna lie, I followed a tutorial for. It's pretty complicated. I'll show it, the graphing that's done. I have a general concept of how it's done, but specifically the math that's done within the editor, which I'll show you, is a little bit more complicated. I just saw it on YouTube. I thought it was a cool feature, and I think by adding it, it actually ended up working perfectly because by reducing the emission light and casting these, having these shadows be more noticeable. Um, what I ended up being able to achieve with this terrain scanner is it basically like leads you through the map, which is really really nice feature. It bursts and it is a child of the kart racer guy, and that's my favorite part when you're going through that tunnel and see it just covering the walls and it just traces the surrounding area so nicely. I love it. It's really cool. So I'm not gonna show you. Actually, I will show you. Why not? I'll play the game again. Basically, the other feature I didn't even get to show. Oh my god. Um, is if I get to a checkpoint, there's two features for logic. If I get to a checkpoint, um, I'll show you the rainbow effect. That's the lerp function or a lerp script or color transition script that I made, and it just dot lerps through an array of colors on a specific material, and I could show that for you in a second. But you can see it's kind of hard to notice since it's very dark, but um, the light kind of illuminates the rainbow effect a little bit more. I kind of wanted to um, have the light itself be using the same lerp function, which would then make it all rainbow and cooly. But for now, I guess the material is fine. Um, and then if I only have 13 seconds left, but if I click one, then I change over to a first-person camera viewing angle, which it's a little hard to see. I'll reset the game one more time. It's hard to see because the game's ending, and I believe somewhere in the editor, the intensity of the red light's really intense. So, but yeah, alpha one is to make the player first person. Uh, Definitely some struggles and challenges to not only get this to my liking, but it's still not perfect. You can see the guy's hands, the camera's halfway rendered in, um, but yeah, I think it's a really neat addition, and it makes the game way more intense. This is more of like a front-facing kart view angle than a first-person angle, but you can still see the driver's hat like bouncing from the idle animation, which is quite annoying. But it's just so hard to map um, the camera through the animation that the player is going through. So, that's a different challenge for another day, I guess. And then if I press two, I could switch between these cameras. So pretty cool. Um, yeah. So I will hop out of here. I think that is all the main features. I go in maybe for the last 2 minutes. Just I'll show you guys the terrain scanner if it will pop up. Hopefully, there we are. So, um, yeah, definitely pretty complicated. As I was, following the tutorial, following the guide, um, basically the effect is a sphere, a VFX effect sphere that is reversed. Um, that way it's only um, being displayed on, well, a lot of these functions are reversed. Not the sphere itself, I'm not sure. But the main idea around it is it's an expanding sphere. These visual scripting tools are used to do different calculations over different components, uh, which create that effect, which I think is really cool. And definitely look more into this. Um, but if you want to discredit me for using the tutorial, it's fine. But I find this very fascinating and very cool. And yeah, if anyone wants to, I'll tell you the YouTube channel, or where this guy's doing it. He does a lot of really cool things in Blender as well, like fire tornadoes and whatnot. So, yeah, definitely gonna learn more about this, but very, very cool effect regardless. So that was that, and so I believe that's it. Um, Thank you for listening and keeping up with me. I know you guys probably have a lot to to read through, but this is my project. Definitely a lot of tweaking, a lot of settings changed, and yeah, thank you very much for